Welcome back, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at doing this example. Now a couple of things I want to make sure I point out to you, and I'm going to do something that I very rarely do, is that I'm going to use the grid on this one, and I'm going to mainly do that because you can see that all the dimensions are in increments of 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up a grid, and then we're going to set up the snap so we can use that grid. Now, once again, this is one of those rare occasions where I can get away and do this. We can also use a grid if the numbers were of different sizes, but in this example, it's perfect to go ahead and execute and use a grid and make this drawing so much easier. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. Okay, so here I have the grid currently turned off. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And then next to it is going to be our snap function. This is going to be our function key 9. So these two, we got F7 turned on, and we're going to also turn on our F9. Next to it, you will see a fly up. Go ahead and select the fly up, and then go to snap settings. You're going to get a dialog box that's going to appear. And this is where all of our snap functions are going to deal with. So we're going to use a rectangular grid. The spacing between each of them. So I want my snap spacing to go into increments of 2. So you can see that if I go 2 on the y-axis, I'll go 2 on the x-axis. Now, how do I want my grid to look? We don't have to have them set up exactly set to 2. And in this case, I think I'm going to make them double what they are. So I'm going to have them set up at 4. And some of the rest of this stuff is that what you're seeing is that you're going to see that it's going to spread out these grids, and every 5th line is going to be the darker of the lines. Once I hit OK, you're going to see that the grid does adjust. And now you should see your cursor should be kind of ticking around to certain things. And I'm just going to make sure I verify that. I turn my snap off and I turn my snap on. And they're going to start ticking. Let's go ahead and go to the line command. And now you see that my cursor is kind of jumping to those lines and only between those lines. I'm going to go ahead and select the first point. So left click here. And long as I'm dragging this direction, and in this case, I'm going to go ahead and turn the ortho off just to kind of show you that it's going to stay locking on that grid going which direction you want. So this distance that I need is going to be 10. So kind of making sure that your dynamic input is on, you should get the number of 10 reading on your AutoCAD screen. So once I get 10, I'll do a left click. I'll go up 2, left click to the left. And let me zoom in just a little bit here. And remember, I'm just scrolling in with the middle mouse button. So I'm going over 2, left click, go up 2, left click. I'm going to come this direction 4. I'll left click here, go up 4, left click, 2, going up 2, and come back this direction, 2. And I can go back down to here and click on that endpoint there. Or I can simply type in C, enter, and that will close and cancel out the command. Alright, so using a grid on this one is very useful. It'll stop me from having to actually punch in things, and this does happen. But in some rare cases, sometimes these numbers will be different, so you can physically overwrite those numbers just by typing them in. But in this example, it's a lot easier just to turn on our snap and turn on the grid. Now, one thing I want you to remember is that once you're done with using that snap and that grid, go ahead and turn the snap off at least. That'll save you from, the next time you start doing something else that is snapping all over the place. So I always like to turn that back off, and I really don't use the grid that much. So I'll typically turn that off as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed watching this one, and if you got any value out of it, go ahead and like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.